What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be running through the top 10 fragrance clones of all time, in my opinion, of course. So as we all know, fragrance clones are a great option if you want to smell like a certain fragrance, but it's pretty out of reach as far as price goes. So usually you can pick these up for around 40 bucks or less. And I made sure to throw in a couple of hidden gem clones in there, just so it's not all the fragrances that you already know and heard about. So yeah, let's just jump into it, okay? So the first one I want to talk about, and you guys know how I feel about this fragrance, this is Territoire Desire. The best, I'm not even kidding, the best Versace Eros clone I've ever encountered. I always tell people, I've reviewed other, companies' clones of Versace Eros, and I always tell people, don't even bother with it. Territoire Desire you can get on some websites for like 10 bucks or less. It's an exact replica. It's literally one-to-one. The container even looks similar. It's an amazing fragrance. You get 100 mils of it. Usually you can pick it up for less than $15. So, and as always, of course, I'm gonna link all of these in the description. So if any of them catch your eye or you're interested in them, you can pick them up there. So that's the first one. So coming up next, we have Ajmal Evoque Gold Edition. So this is an excellent iris fragrance. It's an exact clone, almost exact clone of Prada L'Homme, which is a powdery iris, beautiful fragrance, very elegant, very versatile, great fragrance, and for a great price. So can't recommend this one enough. Okay, so next one. You guys might not have heard of this one, but this is from Frank Olivier Paris, Blue Touch. So this is an Acqua di Gio clone, and I've smelled a lot of Acqua di Gio clones. There's some good ones out there. This one is personally my favorite. It's a great price point, usually around 20 bucks or less, and it gets you 95+% there. Blue Touch, Frank Olivier. Excellent citrusy Acqua di Gio type clone. So coming up next from the House of Alt Fragrances, we have Alt Executive. So this is a brilliant clone of Creed Aventus, and there's a lot of Creed Aventus clones out there. You guys all know there's a ton of good ones out there. The main good one that I usually would recommend to most people, at least back in the day before I smelled this one, was Club de Nuit Intense Man. And we all know, it has that leaking problem with the bottle, and it has that kind of harshness in the beginning. So if you're looking for something that's a little bit smoother, and still gets you that 95% plus there, I would recommend Alt Executive. So it's kind of remedied that issue that a lot of those clones have had with the harsh opening. All right, so next one, we're coming from the House of Maison Alhambra, which is owned by Lattafa. This is Glacier La Noire. So this is Jean Paul Gaultier's Le Male Le Parfum. This is an excellent clone. We're talking definitely at least 90% similar. So the performance is also very good on this one. Not as good as the original, because the original has very impressive performance, but it still has good performance, smells almost exactly the same, and you can pick it up for usually around 25 bucks or less. Coming up next, we have from the House of Fragranza, we have Normandy Brandy, okay? So Apple Brandy on the Rocks by Kilian. This is an amazing clone of it. Excellent dry, woody notes in there. Almost like an oak barrel. It smells like an oak barrel with apple in there. Some booziness to it, very nice boozy. The containers that these fragrances come in are excellent, great quality. Really happy with their fragrances, but this is probably their best one, Normandy Brandy. Okay, coming up next, we have Lattafa's Camera. So this is another Kilian fragrance clone. And it's totally different. So I know it sounds like, oh, apple brandy on the rocks. Okay, well then this has kind of some appley notes in there, some brandy type notes in there. This is a clone of Angel Share, which is a completely different fragrance, but just as good. So this is an excellent fragrance clone. I would say easily 95% plus there. Great clone. I've gotten tons of compliments off of this fragrance, so I couldn't be happier with this purchase. Definitely a go. Camera Lattafa. Okay, coming up next we have Tarathi Blue by Afnan. So if you guys aren't familiar with this one, this is a clone of Bvlgari Tygar. Bvlgari Tygar has that grapefruit in it, the dry kind of woody fragrance. A little bit of amber in there, a bright citrus mixed with dry woods. So excellent fragrance cologne. The cap is a little bit too heavy almost because it's solid metal. So the presentation is a little strange. But other than that, it's a great cologne. Couldn't be happier with this one. Probably one of the best Bvlgari Tygar clones out there. I know there's a couple of them. Okay, next up. Yes. Okay, so we have 9 p.m. by Afnan. Okay, this is another clone of a Jean Paul Gaultier fragrance. This is Ultra Male, okay? So this is extreme sweetness bomb. It has some pear in there, a little bit of lavender in there. Excellent fragrance, beast mode fragrance. I'm talking one spray will fill an entire room. So incredible performance from 9 p.m. by Afnan. Couldn't be happier with this one. Okay, last but not least, we have Alt Fragrance's Nomadic Shadow. So this is an Ombre Nomade fragrance clone and a really darn good one. I'm actually not familiar with any other fragrance companies that have done one yet. So they're kind of on the cutting edge of usually they try and hit these as quickly as they come out. So this is a great fragrance clone of Ombre Nomade by Louis Vuitton, I believe. So yeah, great fragrance, great clone, 95% there. The presentation with alt fragrances is always a little bit whack. Not the best presentation, but who cares? Oh, and I brought in one last one. I know I said 10, but I brought in one last one because who could we, you know, what would this lineup be without talking about Lattafa Assad? So at first I was like, okay, I'm not gonna include that. Everybody's already heard of Lattafa Assad, but for those of you who haven't heard of it, yes, you should buy it. Yes, it is that good. Yes, it smells exactly like Dior Sauvage Elixir. Literally like 98% similar. There's basically no difference. The presentation, not bad. It's a little weird, but not bad. It's that, you know, kind of over the top Lattafa presentation. Amazing, deep, woody, patchouli, almost cacao type fragrance. Great fragrance. So anyway, I hope you guys saw some that you don't already own and you were inspired by. Let me know what you think in the comments. If there's any other clones that you think I really got to get my hands on or you would recommend, make sure to subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. And I'll see you in the next one.